Taliban are distancing themselves from the Tehrik-e-Taliban Pakistan, or the TTP. This as the Tehrik-e-Taliban Pakistan recently made claims about being a branch of the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan. In a video circulating on social media, Tehrik-e-Taliban Chief Mufti Nur Wali Masood can be heard saying that the TTP came under an umbrella of the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan. These claims were rejected by the Taliban in an interview to Arab News. Taliban spokesperson Zabihullah Mujahid said, and I am quoting here, "They are not, as an organization, part of IEA and we do not share the same objectives." End of quote. He further went on to say, quoting yet again, "We advise TTP to focus on peace and stability in their country. This is very important so they can prevent any chance of enemies to interfere in the region and in Pakistan. And we request Pakistan to look into their demands for the better of the region and Pakistan." Taliban spokesperson Zabihullah Mujahid even reiterated that TTP was Pakistan's internal matter and that the Taliban were firm on its stance to not interfere in the internal matters of Pakistan. It is important to note that the statement comes about a month after Afghanistan's acting foreign minister Amir Khan Muttaqi acknowledged that the Taliban were mediating talks between Pakistan and the TTP on request of both sides. Well, let's return to our Pakistan Bureau Chief, Anas Malik, who is live from Islamabad. Malik, thank you very much for staying on. I will begin with my last point in my reads, that Taliban were mediating talks between Pakistan and the TTP on request of both sides. Do we have any information about what happened to those talks, and why is there a change of heart from the Taliban?
Well, to answer your last question first, that the change of heart with the Taliban, the Afghan Taliban never actually acknowledged the Tehrik-e-Taliban as its part or as its wing or as its branch. So if you look at it objectively, there is no change of heart. They say that they're Pashtuns, the Tehrik-e-Taliban is also a Pashtun organization, and that it's a shared border. They're of the same tribe, they speak the same language, and they're the same. They're essentially the same lineage as well. So therefore, they can mediate, but the Taliban have long been claiming that the Tehrik-e-Taliban, the TTP, are not part of them. So if you look at it in perspective, there's no change of heart. It's just a reiteration of their stance, number one. Number two, well, on to your first question now, what has happened to those talks? Practically, there's nothing that is happening to those talks. There were talks that were ongoing first. One such round took place on the 25th of October in Khost. I was in Afghanistan and we were reporting from there as well, as and when these talks were proceeding and moving forward. But then it hit a roadblock following the announcement of the ceasefire. Now, there are conflicting versions. The Tehrik-e-Taliban accuses the Pakistani government of not taking forward the talks. The Pakistani government says that there are hiccups with regards to the demands that have been made. Some of them are quote-unquote ridiculous, if I were to quote the Pakistani Ministry of Foreign Affairs spokesperson Asim Iftikhar Ahmed. Therefore, that has hit the roadblock, and that is the reason these talks are not proceeding. Now, as a result of which, the month-long ceasefire came to an end yesterday. The Taliban publicly announced unilaterally that they will not be continuing the ceasefire. And just today, we saw an attack on a polio team as well, which has been claimed by the Tehrik-e-Taliban. So, the trouble now continues to mount. The looming threat of the Tehrik-e-Taliban, it continues, and the backlash of which can possibly be faced by civilians as well. And in the run-up to that, or in order to avoid any possible attacks from the Tehrik-e-Taliban, we might just be seeing ramped up or beefed up security measures here in Pakistan as well. Eric?
Anas Malik, thank you very much for your insights and for talking to us today. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.